It's April 19th, 2008 in Boston, Massachusetts, where the Red Sox trail by 1 in the bottom of the 8th inning to the Texas Rangers. Representing the tying run, scrappy young second baseman Dustin Pedroia offers it a 1-0 fastball where he hits a sky-high pop fly to shallow left field a little over 300 feet away. What do you think is gonna happen to this ball? Everything about this screams easy out. Ball hit high, but not particularly far. Plenty of time for a left fielder to get under it. This is the sort of at-bat that shouldn't justify a video of any length. Except, what would ordinarily be a can of corn out for the left fielder instead bounces off a monstrous 37-foot high wall, allowing Pedroia to cruise into second base for a stand-up double. On the next pitch, David Ortiz drives him home, tying the game, which they'll eventually go on to win. This, as we'll see, is simply par for the course at the iconic Fenway Park. This video is presented by T-Mobile. While Fenway Park has been the home of the Boston Red Sox since 1912, it didn't really become the park we recognize today until 1934. And living within the universe of the ensuing 92 years, here's a look at the number of doubles hit at home in every season by the Red Sox and every other big league squad. They boast 7 of the top 8 and 14 of the top 19 highest figures here. In the overwhelming majority of seasons, they lead MLB, often with dozens more than any other club. But lest you think they've just always done a bang-up job at employing supernatural doubles hitters, let's take a peek at the same chart, just swapping in road doubles for home doubles. I'd say they've been downright mediocre at smacking two-baggers, but that'd actually be quite unfair to the word mediocre. In reality, to delightfully underscore the juxtaposition, Fenway's tenants just happen to have a resume of road doubles ineptitude that could rival anyone's. In not even one of the 92 seasons did the Bo Sox lead the Bigs in road doubles, but they did have several seasons finishing dead last, and cumulatively throughout this time, they hit road doubles at the second lowest rate of any MLB team. And while Fenway's double-friendly ways have long been a known component about the ballpark, it wasn't until I began probing and charting the matter that I gained the proper appreciation for it. How calling it friendly to doubles really would be like calling Ned Flanders friendly to society. It clearly cannot be overstated just how much of an absolute magnet and breeding ground of the highest degree for doubles it truly is. The biggest reason for this, though not the only one, is Fenway Park's aforementioned green monster of a left field wall. Quite close to home plate, but standing quite high, the monster was constructed in 1934 as part of a massive renovation following a catastrophic fire. Initially, it was just plastered with ads before being smoothly painted green 13 years later, thus the moniker. While it can return to sender as doubles some would-be line drive homers, its shallowness means it's even more often manifested in turning high fly balls that would be easy outs in any other venue into wall ball doubles, or even homers. So as to dingers, the monster giveth and the monster taketh away. As to doubles, it just giveth and giveth. There are some other unique peculiarities about Fenway that unlock doubles, such as the famed triangle in right center field that extends as far back from home plate as 420 feet, creating a cavernous territory extraordinarily conducive to extra base hits. In no single season was this phenomenon more prevalent than in 1949. Ted Williams' Red Sox were road double cellar dwellers, yet at home topped any other AL team by 47%. They hit an astounding 2.4 doubles at home for every one they hit away from Fenway. Meaning the team that, when home ballparks are rendered moot, was the worst there was at hitting doubles, still cobbled together such a monstrous number at home that it overcame their road dearth to finish with 27% more overall doubles than the league runner-up. But I don't even think this does a good enough job of capturing the essence of what they pulled off. I think we need to zoom out and take another look at how those home and road numbers stack up historically, because I'm guessing it may have gone unnoticed upon first glance. Their 81 road doubles are so pitiful that 16 of the other 29 squads never in this period had such a low output in any single full season. Meanwhile, having hit over 100 more at Fenway, their 191 home doubles reflect such an abundance that 21 of the other 29 squads, nearly 3/4, never had such a high output in any single season. So one of the very, very worst road doubles teams and one of the very, very best home doubles teams were one and the same. And of course, it's not just the bats of the Sox that get to revel in the doubles party. They've been burned by the gift Fenway provides the visitors as well. Trailing by 2 runs in Game 3 of the 09 ALDS with a couple runners aboard, the Angels are down to their final out. Right fielder Bobby Abreu slaps a pitch the opposite way. What would perhaps be a disappointing game-ending out anywhere else instead prompts immediate applause from Bobby. He knows. He knows at this moment he's got a green monster that's his best bud and will provide a free 180-foot pass into second base. Representing the go-ahead run, he soon after gets that ride home from Vlad Guerrero as the Angels come back from the dead to finish off a sweep. 8 years later, looking to eliminate the Sox in Game 4 of the ALDS, the Astros lead by 1 with 2 outs in the 9th. Looking to add an insurance run, Carlos Beltran sends a routine fly ball to left where he cashes in with a bounce off the beast. Pretty important too, as a 9th inning Rafael Devers inside the park homer that would have tied the game was instead ultimately harmless. But given that it's the Red Sox that get to play half their games in the doubles laboratory that is Fenway Park, which individual Sox benefited the most from their time calling it home? Well, unequivocally, the single funniest individual season was crafted by 1959 Frank Malzone. This man hit a grand total of 5 road doubles all season long, good for a tie for 124th in MLB. The very same man at home sweet Fenway? He cranked out 29, not just the most in the bigs, the most by 32%. But looking through a broader lens, there is no doubt that no one was luckier to call Fenway home than one Wade Anthony Boggs. Across the 9 years spanning 1983 to 91, aside from a bizarrely normal 84 campaign, Boston's legendary third baseman hit more home doubles than every other big leaguer in every season. Numero uno, 8 times. But when we compare those home totals against his road totals, it is nothing short of jarring. Here you can see 7 different Boggs seasons wherein he hit at least 28 Fenway doubles juxtaposed against 0 seasons hitting more than 18 on the road. Ranking-wise, he doesn't pull off a single season placing in the top 10 in road doubles with just 1 in the top 20. And yet he still displayed that sort of video game-esque proficiency at Fenway. 2 Boggs seasons in particular present dazzling contrasts. Let's start with 89, when he finished tied for 45th with 14 road doubles, but whose home double total of 37 doesn't just remain higher than anyone else's since the start of World War II, but tops anyone else that season by more than 32%. Though I think I'm even more partial to what Boggs accomplished 6 years earlier in his very first full big league season of 83. That year, 105 big leaguers hit more road doubles than the mere 10 Boggs managed, yet his 34 home doubles were still 26% more than the runner-up. For Boggs, that Fenway doubles boost was just about always in uncontrollable overdrive. And while he rode that Fenwave all the way to Cooperstown as a first-ballot Hall of Famer, he never did win AL MVP, an honor which was bestowed upon 10 different Bo Sox position players. For 9 of them, there's little to quibble with in terms of Fenway's role in their MVP campaign. For the 10th, it is a very, very different story. Right off the bat, the thing that jumps out about Pedroia's MVP season of 2008 is that he hit 54 doubles. But despite that high a total, he wasn't necessarily the fundamentally amazing doubles hitter that one might naturally presume. Because when you look under the hood, you'll see that just 19 of those 54 doubles occurred away from his doubles cocoon. Which is definitely good, but every season scores of players hit at least 19 road doubles. It's nothing out of the ordinary. What is out of the ordinary is the fact that 54 minus 19 equals 35. Well, the equation's not out of the ordinary, but the meaning of the equation, that Pedroia therefore hit 35 doubles at home, including that dagger to spark his team's comeback win over Texas, very much is. You'd think the diminutive Pedroia magically morphed into the Hulk at Fenway. While 13 American leaguers hit more road doubles in '08 than did Pedroia, he didn't just lead the league in home doubles, he exceeded anyone else by 30%. In fact, it's more than any 21st century big leaguer through its first quarter and counting. And considering he barely had half that many on the road, that is one hell of an assist by his ballpark. That's part of why, in my opinion, the more deserving AL MVP that season was Pedroia's teammate, Kevin Youkilis, whose case isn't nearly as reliant upon Fenway's doubles pixie dust. While Pedroia notched 11 more of them overall and was a stronger base runner than Youkilis, Youk more than made up for that with significant advantages in such categories as homers, RBI, walks, and especially OPS. But alas, Dustin's doubles total was sexier than any single element Kevin could offer, immaculate goatee accepted. That's not to say Youk didn't ever also squeeze plenty of that same juice out of Fenway. 3 years later, he was simply not a good doubles hitter, as evidenced by his road total of 6 being good for 269th in MLB. Still somehow finished at the very top of the home leaderboard in a 3-way tie, with 2 other Red Sox, of course. There's simply something so beautiful about the quirkiness of this ballpark. Not just that it was alive and kicking during the Taft administration. Days that even predate the arrival of Babe Ruth, whose first home ballpark continues to host over 80 MLB games per season. But also that for generations and generations, it's produced for the Red Sox and their visitors such zaniness to this sort of extent. I personally love this kind of zaniness, so I'll double down. Long live Fenway Park. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting Secret Base. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to get access to even more and see your name included alongside all these other distinguished folks, subscribe to Secret Base on Patreon.